Three events kind of were very traumatic. Losing my father in 1978, the desegregation in our schools closing down. I was a minority of brown and black kids, and it was kind of challenging for me. I dropped out of high school my sophomore year. I wanted to pursue a career in playing foosball. I was a fifth-year senior, teenage dad, working at Wendy's when my son came in October of '87. But my life changed in March. Miss Gallego, Cecilia Gallego, was my DECA teacher. My manager says, we're going to do your evaluation next door. And I walk in the dining room and I was like, Miss Gallego, what are you doing here? She says, well, I'm here to do your fourth quarter grade and evaluation, and you're going back to school. I explained to her that I had to work because I was a teenage father and I needed to work for my son. And she told me, no, you need to go to school. It's best for you to finish school if you're going to do a thing for your son. In that moment, she changed my life. And I just remember graduating and I had my son in my arms. So as I picked my career, I think it was normal for me to say that would be what I wanted. Students are amazing. They have a gift that they don't even know yet. Educators are going to pull that gift out. My sister was so excited that I was the first to graduate from my family. She said, our dad would be very proud of you coming from the mining background. I always believed that since a child, I was a servant leader. I needed people around like Miss Gallego, who saved me when she went to Wendy's. I felt that AVID was a place where adults can show that compassion through the work. AVID was my compass. It was telling me where I needed to go. It just spoke to me.
Good afternoon, buenas tardes, salam alaikum, lios en chenevu, ni hao, bonjour, and jumbo. I am so grateful and humbled to be standing before you this afternoon. I am the son of an immigrant from Sonora, Mexico. My mother was a young widow raising 6 children, and I am the youngest. I am the son of a copper miner from Arizona. My father passed away while doing the job he loved. I was 18 months old. I am a 5th-year senior and a teenage dad. I am the father of 2 children, Frankie and Brittany. I am the grandfather of 5 grandchildren who call me their tata. I am the husband to the most amazing college tutor who has supported me through college and here today. I am a first-generation college student who began at Pima Community College twice. I am a graduate from the University of Arizona twice, and bear down. I am a former high school social studies teacher from Saguaro High School in Tucson, Arizona, and I am the former proud principal of Cholla High School, Tucson Unified's first school designated as an AVID school-wide site of distinction. My AVID journey as a high school principal started in a summer institute in 2010 in San Diego. I had just finished my first year as a principal, and I needed to develop my purpose for my campus. I wanted to create a culture where all students were prepared for college, career, and life. AVID helped me set that direction. My first summer institute was exciting. I met principals who were facing the same challenges that I was as a first-year principal. I reflected with others on what was working on my campus and what I needed to improve. I would also admittedly say I was struggling on how to get all my teachers and students to embrace the AVID program. How would I get all the teachers and support staff on board? Most importantly, how would I get my students to participate in AVID, many of whom were like me in high school and believed that college was not for them? That school year, to establish a baseline, I started looking for AVID evidence and possible Wicker strategies on my campus. What I had on my campus was 2 part-time elective teachers and approximately 40 students in the AVID elective classes. The AVID students carried around their 3-ring binders, and there were thousands and thousands of Xerox copies of Cornell notes in the copy room unused. In addition, when I mentioned AVID to teachers, teachers would say, oh, kids don't want to do Cornell notes. The AVID program is only for the IB diploma program kids. I knew that I had my work cut out for me. How was I going to create opportunities for all students to be in college, career, and life ready? As I continued my AVID journey and strengthened my quality of our AVID systems on campus, two major events fueled my passion even more for making AVID work in my school. The first was a new assistant superintendent to Tucson Unified from San Antonio, who previously was an AVID district director. I shared with her that I was in my third year and attempting to reignite AVID on my campus. I told her how proud I was that I had enrolled more than 40 students in my AVID elective classes, employed a full-time AVID elective teacher who loved AVID, and I had a couple of teachers attempting Wicker strategies in their English and math class. In addition, the elective teacher was coordinating AVID site team meetings and was responsible for the certification and coaching instrument, the CCI. The assistant superintendent looked at me and sarcastically said, "So I hear you're running off a knockoff AVID program at Cholla, and if you need help correcting it, I can help." Her words punched me in my stomach, and I felt like a failure. However, a few minutes later, I used her degrading statement as an important inspiration and resolve to continue my AVID journey. I realized at that moment that when those around me view me as an instructional leader and one who values and sees the best in others. The second event occurred in Indianapolis at a 2012 Summer Institute in the session for school and district leaders. When the participants were introducing themselves, the facilitator asked the group to share a story about a teacher who inspired or motivated them. A young lady stood up and said, "My high school history teacher was that teacher, and he is sitting right there." She turns around and points at me from the front of the class, in front of the room, and says, "Mr. Armenta." I was shocked, and I looked and I said, "Melissa Gannis?" She later tells me that I was doing AVID-like strategies back at Saguaro High School as her teacher before we even knew what AVID was. She said, "You were preparing all of us for college and career, and you didn't even know it." Those two events motivated me to continue my AVID implementation with integrity and resilience, moving from an AVID program to AVID school-wide. I knew this was the direction I needed to go, and it was my responsibility to lead Cholla High School there. In 2016, the school's letter grade rose from a D to a B per the state's accountability school letter grading system. The AVID coordinator and teachers were leading weekly professional development. The school's instructional team embedded Wicker strategies and essential questions into the instructional cycle and walkthrough instrument. When reflecting on my school systems, I utilized the plan, do, study, and act cycle of inquiry. College Thursdays became the norm for all students, teachers, and support staff. College pennants, AVID, and Wicker posters covered the classroom walls and doors. Collaborative studies group, costless levels of thinking, language scripts, Socratic seminars were Wicker strategies of choice and students. When I entered the classroom or left the classroom, students would say, "You are fantastic." One of their favorite AVID celebrations. I felt that I had reached my goal by my school's purpose and direction. In 2021, Cholla High School became the AVID school-wide site of distinction, the first in Tucson Unified School District and in Pima County. When reflecting on how our school achieved AVID school-wide site of distinction, I focused on what students needed and what educators do. I was consistent in my leadership by setting the pace for student success in my communication and modeling that all students needed to be college and career ready. When insisting on rigorous instruction, we embedded Wicker strategies into our daily lessons and personal and professional development that aligned with our continuous school improvement. We created systems of shared accountability that were describable, predictable, and that could be replicated in every student and adult learning space on campus. We modeled and fostered a culture where every student at Cholla High School was closing the opportunity gap by preparing all students for college and career readiness and success for a global society. I realized that we at Cholla created an environment and opportunities where high school students were encouraged and empowered to finish high school with the tools needed to be college and career and life ready. What was most humbling for me was that I could identify with the caring relationships that developed in the daily interactions of teachers, support staff, and students. This reminded me of those adults in my life who cared enough about me not to let me fail and encouraged me to finish high school. Miss Gallego, my high school DECA teacher, who showed up at Wendy's where I was working and refused to let me drop out of high school a second time. My loving neighbors, Terry and Dodie, who babysat my infant son and encouraged me to complete that dreaded senior English paper that was standing between me and my high school graduation. And my wife, Kim, who made me believe that college was for me. Today, Cholla High School's AVID program is sustainable and is a model of AVID implementation within the district's high schools. I was able to create a learning environment where all students had the opportunity to find their path for college and career readiness with caring adults. I will leave you with the following. To my new AVID family, I appreciate how you all have welcomed me into your learning space. Teachers and educators, thank you for caring and believing in our students when they need it the most. Students, know that you are the most amazing people and that you carry your parents' hopes and dreams, and you can achieve them, and most importantly, for yourself. And finally, principals, where are you at, principals? Let me hear you, principals. There you go, principals. This message is for you. As the general contractor of AVID implementation on your campus, it is your responsibility to set the pace for student success. Thank you.